Jai Hind everyone. My name is Mamta and I'm working as an assistant professor in the Department of Information Technology of Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad. Today I'm going to discuss some introduction of Python programming language. Before going ahead to the Python programming language, we need to know what is Python, what is its data type, what are the character sets of Python. So first of all, we need to discuss what is the definition of Python. So the founder of Python is Sir Guido van Rossum. He is a Dutch programmer, belongs to the Netherlands. He is the founder of the Python programming language. He gives a definition of Python programming as Python is a widely used interpreted object-oriented high-level programming language with dynamic semantics used for general purpose programming. This definition is given by Sir Guido van Rossum. He used some technical words in his definition, like interpreted, object-oriented, high-level programming language used for dynamic semantics, used for general purpose programming. He used these technical words in his definition of Python programming language. Now, we need to, before going ahead, we need to understand what is the meaning of these words, what is actually Python belongs to, or what features he have. This is the working of interpreter. He will check the code for error line by line. Next, object-oriented. Object-oriented means if we have any problem related to the programming word, then we will give our solution in the form of object. The real world problem is solved in the form of object with the help of object. This such kind of language is known as object-oriented programming language. Python is purely object-oriented programming language, following all the features of programming language, and Python follow all these 7 features of object-oriented concepts. Next, high-level programming language. High-level programming language means Python follow a term is known as abstraction. A technical term is also introduced here, abstraction. Abstractions means hiding unwanted data from the user is known as abstraction, and the language who follow this abstraction property is known as high level language. Next term is your dynamic semantics. What is the meaning of dynamic semantics? Dynamic semantics means it automatically take data types. All you must be aware of the data type like int, float, char. So in Python, interpreter what do? At the runtime, he will take the data type of any variable, any class, or any objects. This is called dynamic semantics. Now, general purpose programming. What does it mean? General purpose means all the areas of computer science like artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, web development, software development, gaming, website development. In all these areas, we can solve the problem with the help of Python, either partially or fully. Either we can partially solve the problem or fully can solve the problem. So this is known as general. Because of this, the Python is known as general purpose programming language because it can solve all the problem related to the computer science fields. Next. Now, next point is it support multiple programming paradigm. Now, what is the meaning of this multiple programming paradigm? Programming paradigm, the structure any language, any programming language follow to do the coding, basically. So we have 4 types of programming paradigms. Structure. So structured language, which is followed by C programming language in the form of struct. You have been used the struct keyword in your C programming language to construct a structure of any book, of any object. So this is known as structured programming language. Procedural means the programming language which follows some procedure, either top to bottom or bottom to top approach. Object oriented, we already discussed about the object oriented means whose solution is moving around the objects. And next is the functional, the programming language which works on the approach of functional programming, module programming. It divides the big problem into the sub problems in the form of the function. This is known as functional programming, and Python support all four programming paradigms. Next, why it is called Python? When Guido van Rossum begins implementing Python, he was also reading the published script of Monty Python's Flying Circus. It was a BBC comedy series from 1970. So, Sir Guido van Rossum thought that I need a short, slightly mysterious and unique name. So, for a time being, Sir Guido van Rossum chose this Python word from this series title as his programming language name. Initially, he think that he will started this language as a Python language, and when it become famous, I will change its name. But the language becomes very famous with the name Python itself. So he did not change the language name. He continued with the Python's programming language name. Next, there are some features of Python programming language. These features are discussed one by one. First of all, it is easy to learn and use because of its less syntax and easy understandable. It is very easy to learn and use. It is an expressive language and easy to read. Sir Guido van Rossum tried to do everything related to the English keyword in his programming language. So it is very expressive language. For example, if I wanted to print some statement in Python programming language, so he will give a print function. So one can easily understand if I wanted to print something, so I have to use print function. So such kind of keywords and functions are there, which is very close to the English language. That's why it is known as very expressive and easy to read. Next, easy to code and maintain. When some programming language is very easy to learn, so it will be very easy for coding and maintaining. Interpreted language means it will check the code for errors line by line. This is an interpreted language. Next is your cross-platform language. What is the meaning of platform here? Platform means operating system on which you are doing the coding, for which you are writing the code. This is known as platform. What is the meaning of now cross-platform here? Cross-platform means if I'm writing an application for Windows operating system and I wanted to run this application to the Mac operating system, so it will automatically convert it compatibility to the Mac. I do not have to change even a single line of code for Mac. So this is called as cross-platform language. I can cross the platform, and platform means operating system. Next, it is free and open source. Free means Python is freely available into the website of python.org. Open source means its libraries is open to change or extend or use. Object-oriented programming language. I told you that object-oriented means when the solution of any problem is moving around to the object, is known as object-oriented programming language. And we have 7 features of object-oriented concept. Which language follow these 7 features known as object-oriented programming language. Next, extendable. In Python programming language, if I have an already written code, I can extend it by further adding coding line to our existing code. GUI programming support. GUI means graphical user interface. I can implement Python programming language to the GUI development. Next, it is integrated. Integrated means we can use a lot of different things to integrate them to given the resultant output. Next, large standard library. Python has a huge standard library. Interactives means Python give you interpreter. You can set on the interpreter of the Python and can code accordingly. Portable. What is the meaning of portable? Portable and cross-platform both are same properties. Portable means it can port their operating system very easily. We can run it on different platforms. Database. Python support all the databases available. And next is general purpose. General purpose means we already discussed. We can implement Python in any area of computer science field. Next, high level language means Python follow a higher level of abstraction, and the language who follow the abstraction is known as high level language. Dynamic language means something runtime. So the language which allow runtime modification is known as dynamic. In Python programming language, we declare variable like this: a is equals to 10. Here a is the variable and 10 is the value. So here if we want to know the data type of a, so Python automatically take its data type at the runtime. So this property is known as dynamically typed. Garbage collection. Garbage collection means Python automatically collect the garbage from the memory time by time and remove it from the memory and free the memory. Python is the beginner language. Python is the only language which we can start even if we do not have any computer science background, any programming background. We can start with the Python and we can easily understand Python, learn Python. Next is the Python application. Python can apply in any area of the computer science field like web and internet development. These are the examples of web and internet development. For example, Django and Pyramid frameworks, Flask and Bottle micro frameworks, they have launched. Desktop and GUI application. Next is your software development, and next scientific and numeric computation, scientific research or numeric computation like NumPy, SciPy. We can use these library if we want to do some scientific or numeric computation. Next is your business application like ERP, e-commerce. Next is your console based application. We can make also console based application, prompt based application. Some other applications are there like video and audio based application, fingerprint, face recognition. These applications can be done with the help of Python programming language. Next is 3D CAD application in designing of any product in mechanical field. Enterprises application. We can build an enterprise application with the help of programming language. Application for images. Next in education is also ERP. We can also consider it in education. And next, gaming. A lot of games are developed in the Python programming language. Next is websites and web services. Let's discuss some Python history and versions. Python was developed by Sir Guido van Rossum in late 90s and early 90s at the National Research Institute for Mathematics and Computer Science in the Netherlands. Next, the implementation of Python was started in December 1989. In February 1991, when Rossum published the code at ALT Sources. First code was introduced at ALT Sources. Next, in 1994, Python version 1 is released with new features like lambda, map, filter and reduce. These all are the function related features and functions. Now next, Python 2x version added new features like list comprehension, garbage collection system. After that, on December 3rd, 2008, Python 3x version, also called as PY3K, was released. It was designed to rectify fundamental flaw of the languages. Next, Python was derived for many other languages including ABC, Modula 3, C, C++, Algol and other scripting languages. ABC programming language is said to be predecessor of the Python programming language. Python is copyrighted. Python's source code is now available under the GNU General Public License. Python is now maintained by the code development team at the institute, although Sir Guido van Rossum still holds a vital role in the directing its progress. Till now, Python has 3 versions, 1x, 2x and 3x. Currently, 3.11x version is in the market. Next, Python installation. Whenever you decided that you have to learn the Python, so go to the Python authentic website, that is python.org. and download its very latest version from this authentic website. IDE. The full form of IDE is Integrated Development Environment. Now, what is the meaning of that Integrated Development Environment? Have you ever seen Visual Studio? The screen of Visual Studio is like that. This is the main screen of Visual Studio. Here we have Visual Studio have done some partitions like this, Have you seen this partition in Visual Studio Code? Here you can write your code. Okay, you can save here. After that, when you will run the code, you will see the output here. Here will be the running button and you will see the output here. You can import all the libraries also here. Import any module or library. If you get an error, process is known as debugging. So basically what you are doing, you are writing the code in the same screen, you are running the code in the same screen, you are compiling the code and interpreting the code at the very same screen, and you are debugging your code at the very same screen. So it is a place where you can write your code, you will run it, you can debug it. This place is known as IDE, Integrated Development Environment, an environment in which we can develop a lots of things related to the Python programming language or a software. An IDE helps the developer by automating the processes. IDEs integrate many tools that are designed for SDLC. This is a software development life cycle related to the software engineering topic. IDEs were introduced to diminish the code by and typing error, because it have inbuilt automatic functions typing, so we cannot do much error in writing the code. Some Python IDEs are IDLE. Full form is Integrated Development Environment. This IDLE is default editor of Python. You should not download it differently. It will come with the Python programming language. It will come along with the Python programming language. Next is PyCharm. This is developed by JetBrains. And next, Sublime Text 3, Visual Studio Code, Atom, Jupyter Notebook, PyDev, Spider. These all are the Python IDEs. Python character set. What is the character set? Character set is basically the symbols which represent any languages or accepted by any languages. I said, what is the character set? Any symbol accepted by language, any language. The symbols which any language accepts is known as the character set of that language. For example, in maths we have the digit from 0 to 9. So 0 to 9 is the character set of maths language, and we have small a to z and capital A to z in English language. So small a to z and capital A to z are the character set of English language. Likewise, we have Python character set. Character set basically is a set of valid character accepted by any programming language while we are doing scripting or coding. Python character set is a valid set of character recognized by Python language. These are the characters we can use during writing a script in the Python. Python support all ASCII and Unicode characters that include alphabets. We can use our alphabets in Python scripting. Also, we can use digits from 0 to 9 in our Python programming language. Next, special symbols like these we can also use. We also use white spaces and some other like Unicode characters. We can also use in our Python programming language scripting. Next is your Python token. What is the token? Token is the smallest individual unit in a Python program. All statements and instructions in a program are built with tokens. We have following tokens in Python: keyword, Identifier, literals and values, literal collection, operators and punctuators. Let's discuss them one by one. First of all, keyword. Which words are known as keywords? Keywords basically are also known as reserved words that have some special meaning. Some special meanings means they have predefined function. We do not use them for our own functions or our own uses. These have predefined actions or function. We have to follow them and we can use them for this predefined function also. That's why they are also known as reserved word. They cannot be used as variable name, function name or any other random purpose. The total number of keywords can change depending upon the Python version. For example, in Python 3.7, there were only 33 keywords in Python, but in Python 3.10.4, we have 35 keywords. So till now, till a present date, I have 35 keywords in Python. This is the list of the Python keywords. This is the table, belongs to the Python table. Now, these keywords are differentiated based on their purpose. For example, this else and this if and this elif. These three keywords are used in conditional statement to check any condition and in decision making statements. So these such keywords are categorized in different categories. For example, value keyword. Value keyword means true, false and none. These are only used for the value. Next is your operator keyword. And, or, not, in, is. These are known as operator keyword, used as operators. Control flow, we have already taught. If, elif, else. These are used for decision making statement. Next, iteration wale. Iteration means looping. For loop, while loop, break, continue, else. For else is also known as iteration keywords. Next, structured keyword. Structured, who define any structure, like we use def keyword for creating a function. We use class keyword for creating any class, and with, as, pass, lambda. Next, returning keyword, return and yield. Next is your import keyword, which is used for importing, like import from, as. Next, exception handling keywords, try, except, raise, finally, else, assert. Asynchronous programming keyword, async and await. Next, variable handling keyword, del, global and non-local. So these keywords are categorized in different categories. Next is your identifier. Identifier basically are the name given to any variable, function, class, list or method. Any name which we are using in our Python script is known as identifier because they are used for their identification. Python is a case sensitive language and it has some rules and regulations to name their identifier. There are some rules. Very first rule is Python is a case sensitive language. So case matters means capital A and small a are two different names for Python scripting. Like this, and hello, two different identifier for Python scripting. Next rule is identifier starts with a capital letter A to Z and a small letter A to Z or an underscore. It cannot start with any other character. With any other character means any special symbol, any digit, like that. Third rule is except for letters and underscore. Digit can also be part of identifier but cannot be at the first character. Now what does it mean? I am saying that I have a name. For example, I have a name A, B, C, D. This is an identifier. He is saying that I can also use digit as an identifier. A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3. This is valid identifier, but if I am using digits at very first place, so this is invalid identifier. Digits can be used as an identifier in an identifier, but not in the first place. An identifier cannot be a keyword. Okay, here are some valid identifier. The A, this is starting from the small alphabets, underscore, M underscore, and these are the valid identifier. This is started from a digit. This is an invalid identifier. It is using a special symbol. This is also an invalid identifier. And this white spaces is not allowed into the identifier. So this is also a invalid identifier. Literals and values. What are the literals? Literals are the fixed values or data item used in a source code. Let's have an example. Suppose I have a variable a and I have value 10 in this a. So it means that I have a variable a and I have the value 10 for the variable a. Here a is a variable name, so it is known as identifier. And the value I am assigning to that identifier a is 10 and also known as literal. Okay. Python support different types of literals such as values can be of any type, string type, character type, numeric type. So Python support string literal. I can have a string like SAM, computer science, Python programming language. Character literal. Character literal means a single character. String is a combination of characters and character is a single character like E, like T. Numerical literal. Numeric literals comes with integers, floating point number, complex number, boolean number and special literals, which is none. Next comes literals collection. When I have to say store more than one values. When I have to store more than one values, like I have to store 10, after that 20, 30. So I have to use some literal collection because these three values cannot be stored in a single variable a. So I have to use some literal collection, and we have literal collection like list, tuples, dictionary and set. Next, what are the operators? Operators are the token responsible for performing an operation in an expression. Basically, operator is any symbol which is used, which is responsible for any action. The variables on which operations is applied is known as operator. For example, if I am doing a plus b, addition operation. So here plus is your operation because it is responsible for an action of summation, and a and b are your operands. Operators can be unary or binary. Means we can perform our operator on a single operand or a two operand. And we also have ternary operator also, which is performed on the three operands A, B and C. This is called ternary operator. Next is your punctuator. These are the symbols that are used in Python to organize the structure, statements and expression. Some of them are punctuator is this. Now, how to interact with the Python program language? We can interact with the Python program by two ways, either interactive mode or by scripting mode. When you download Python in your computer system, you can search IDLE in your search bar. Press on the search window button and search here for IDLE. When you click on this IDLE, you will screen is shown to your system is this. This screen will be visible to your system. This is known as interpreter of Python. Okay, this screen. This screen is known as interactive mode, and the upper screen is known as script mode. This is known as interactive mode. Now, let's have them one by one. Interactive mode. Interactive mode also known as REPL, that is read, eval, print and loop, because it follows all these paradigm of the Python script. It provides us with a quick way of running blocks or a single line of Python codes. The code executes via the Python shell which comes with the Python installation. The interactive mode is a handy when you just want to execute basic Python commands, means you wanted to execute single or 2 line of code in Python, then it is good. Or you are new to Python programming, you just want to go your hand dirty with this beautiful language. Next, this symbol, this sign indicates that Python shell is ready to execute. Whenever you see this symbol at your IDLE prompt, that means this is your Python shell is ready to execute and send some command to the Python interpreter. The result is immediately displayed on the Python shell as soon as Python interpreter interprets the command. It is preferable in case of where we are concerned about the output of each line of our Python program. We will prefer interactive mode for scripting when we want the output of a single line or every individual line or using in our Python code. To run your Python statement, just type them and hit the enter key. You will get the result immediately, unlike in the script mode. For example, this is the printing command. I have printed hello world here and this is the output of this command. Script mode. If I wanted to save my program for a longer time, so I need to use the script mode. Basically, interactive mode is used for testing purposely. Single line or 2 line of code I can run and check the output. But if I'm writing an application, I'm writing a program, I will prefer scripting mode because I wanted to save for a longer hours. So if you need to write a long piece of Python code or your Python script span multiple files, interactive mode is not recommended. Why? Because if you close your interactive mode, it will automatically disable all your codes, all your writings, all your scripts. But if I am writing my Python code in scripting mode, I can save it and I will reuse it into the future. In scripting mode, you write your code in a text file, then save it and with a .py extension. .py is the extension for Python programming language, which stands for Python. Here is a point to note that you can use any text editor for this, including Sublime Text, Atom, Notepad++, etc. Okay, if you are in a standard Python shell, you can click File, then choose the new or simply hit Ctrl+N on your keyboard to open a blank script in which you can write your code. You can then press Ctrl+S to save it for a longer time or for future purpose. After writing your code, you can run it by clicking Run Command or Run Module or simply press F5. You will get the output in the interpreted mode. Next is Python comments. Next is your Python comments. Comments in Python can be used to explain any programming language, or these are also known as non-executable statement in our script. It can also be used to hide the code as well. Comments are the most powerful stuff because with the help of comments, we get to know what we are going to do, or other can understand easily what we have done before. Comments is not part of the program, but it can enhance the interactivity of the program and makes the program readable. Python support 2 types of comments, single line comment and multi-line comments. What are the single line comments? If we wanted to make only a single line as a comment, then we will use single line comment and hash is used to represent this single line comments. Next is your multi-line comments. If we have more than one line and we wanted to represent them as a comment, so we will use triple single quote to represent multi-line comments. Thank you for today. We will see in the next video.